So what is really going on right now? Well, by now you know that Congress, they don't get along, right? The likelihood of seeing Republicans and Democrats pass a bipartisan bill that at least would benefit the entire country, that's very small. But you will not believe what is being discussed now, and this is causing a massive fight amongst lawmakers. Now, I will tell you all about that in just a moment. First, all I ask is you can do one thing. Go ahead and hit that like button for the YouTube algorithm, and let's begin. So what is really happening? Well, you see the title of this video, additional payments being made to millions. But who? And how? And also when? These are the questions that I know people are going to ask, so let's address that. But first, we have an issue with these payments. Here's the reason why. The Republicans are looking at ways to reduce the federal deficit. We know this. We've seen all the interviews, we've seen all the articles, the reports. Republicans want to reduce the federal deficit. And as a way to do that, some Republicans are proposing that we make changes to the SNAP benefit program. And one of those changes would actually mean that the overall spending for SNAP benefits would get reduced. They're not talking about cuts to monthly benefits for the 40 million people that receive them. No, that's not what Republicans are planning. What Republicans want to see is that they want to see work requirements get added into this, but they're more strict so that states cannot find the loopholes to go around these restrictions and allow people to go and get the SNAP benefits, especially if they're not working or they're not working as much or they're turning down jobs. So essentially, we would see these benefits or the total cost of these benefits go down. But for most households, you wouldn't see a change at all. But why is this important? Well, here's why. This is important because lawmakers are seeing this unfold. They are seeing and they are attempting to propose legislation that would actually put these emergency allotments back in place. However, even though there are proposals, there are plans for proposals, nothing is going to pass a Republican-led House. And Democrats know this. But because Democrats know this, they are turning to a different way to provide relief. They're going to go a roundabout way and provide the relief to states. Okay? For example, we are seeing some states already that are passing legislation. For instance, New Jersey's governor signed a bill just recently that gave SNAP beneficiaries the additional $95 boost. And he said, and I quote, "As the federal government's temporary boost to SNAP benefits comes to an end, we cannot ignore the significant impact this will have on households and communities throughout our state. No one should ever have to wonder where their next meal will come from. By implementing a minimum monthly SNAP benefit of $95 for all beneficiaries, New Jersey is leading the nation in ensuring families have the support they need to keep putting food on the table. While we may be the first state to do this, it is my hope we will not be the last to put these critical protections into effect." And they are not the last state. We also know West Virginia lawmakers are proposing a bill that would provide pregnant women and people with children at least $95 per month. Massachusetts, their governor wants to provide more benefits as well. They want to provide at least 40% of an increase of the lost benefits. So, for example, let's say you get $100 per month, or you got $100 per month. If you lost $100 per month, then they would give you $40 per month. Again, 40%. And they would do this for a maximum of 3 months. Again, just try to get you into the spring, potentially closer to the summer. Maybe things turn around. We don't know. But that's what states are looking at. States are considering ways to provide some additional relief temporarily, even for a short time. Okay, even if it's 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, whatever, it doesn't have to be a permanent fixture. And this is where things are starting to ramp up. And this is where we are potentially going to see millions of payments going out to the American people. But here's what's really going on. States don't have unlimited funding. And if a state is, and again, I talked about this this morning, I've talked about this yesterday as well. Here's the issue. If states are struggling and the people, the residents, cannot afford food, what's going to happen is If you can't afford food, you don't go into the store, you don't buy food. Well, that impacts the store, the grocery store. If you can't buy food, the store is going to be hurting. They're going to see less sales. They'll probably lay off employees. As they start to lay off employees, and you see this ripple effect, okay, go throughout the entire community. Here's the problem. States want to stop that, okay? Now, Congress knows they can't do anything with a Republican-led Congress, okay? Or, again, Democratic lawmakers know they are not going to be able to pass a Democratic bill with a Republican-led Congress or a Republican-led House. Republicans in the House know, or Republicans in Congress know, that they're not going to be able to pass a Republican bill with a Democratic-led Senate, okay, and a Democratic president. So what is everybody thinking? Well, this is where many Democratic lawmakers, they want to provide additional benefits to the states, not to the people, to the states. But the state can determine the best course of action for their residents. Now, Democrats believe this is going to be much easier to get passed than attempting to get the emergency allotments put back into place. Now, here's where things go from here. Congress will never, and I repeat, never, they will never pass another bill that will send hundreds of billions of dollars to states as long as the states have unspent pandemic funding. So, guess what's happening? As of now, we are hearing more and more reports that states are proposing to use some of their additional funding to provide more relief to the American people, to help them with the issues and the struggles from the pandemic. Yeah. As a result, states are ramping up their efforts on spending all this additional money that they have and giving it back to their citizens. Why? Because they know if they have additional funding, there's two things that could happen. One, we could actually see Republicans try to go after this funding and claw it back, which has been discussed. Or we could see lawmakers look at the states and be like, oh, well, this state's doing very well. Their unemployment's low, poverty rate's low. People still have jobs, homes. We're not seeing the market collapse. This state might be doing things right. Well, what is this state doing? If they're giving their money back to their residents, that could be the catalyst. And so keep in mind, this could happen. We could see more states jump on board. California is right there. Okay, California wants to, was there a Cal Fresh program or something like that? They want to give additional benefits there. But now if you live in a Republican-led state, there's a chance that you're not going to see anything because they're going to try to spend their money on other things. Again, which they think is going to help out the communities and their state. It might be to help out businesses. And again, the Republicans usually believe the trickle-down effect, and it works. Okay? So, just keep that in mind. The fight is on here. That's what we're seeing. The fight here is on. Republicans and Democrats, they're going to go after each other to figure out what is the best thing, what is the best course of action for their residents, okay, for their communities. So, I wanted to bring this to your attention because I've been getting a lot of questions from people. Why are certain states getting some funding, certain stimulus funding, when others aren't? Well, they're not getting stimulus funding. The funding has already been given over 2 years ago. The money's just sitting there. So now the states are realizing they need to use it in order for the possibility of getting additional funding in the next bill. Again, I don't see it happening, but it could. So we're going to see what happens moving forward. And as we get more information, more updates on certain states providing additional funding, whether it's for SNAP, for unemployment, for whatever, I promise I will bring you those updates as soon as possible. But again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.